Have you ever caught her looking at you in a way that felt electric? Not just a glance, but something deeper, something that lingers long after you've walked away. That feeling isn't by accident, and it isn't random. There's a reason why she can't stop thinking about you. And it all begins with one subtle move you made, one action that quietly planted itself in her mind, a seed that keeps growing, twisting her thoughts toward you without her even realizing. Most men never understand this. They think attraction is loud, obvious, flashy. But the truth is far more subtle. Real psychological hooks work in whispers. And if you've done this once, just once, then you've activated a mechanism in her brain that she can't turn off. Think about the last time you interacted with her and felt a real connection. Maybe it was a small, seemingly insignificant moment, a joke, a look, a touch, a word that carried meaning, but it did something. It didn't just make her smile. It triggered something she can't explain, a spark lodged deep in her subconscious. That spark begins to replay in her mind like a song she can't stop humming. And here's the critical part. Women are wired to remember moments of emotional intensity far more than mundane interactions. It's why a fleeting, confident action can outweigh weeks of ordinary conversation. One instance of genuine presence, one moment of unspoken understanding, can silently take root in her thoughts and refuse to leave. What you may not realize is that you've created a puzzle in her mind. When a woman experiences genuine intrigue, when she senses a part of you that is authentic, unguarded, and magnetic, her mind begins to fill in the blanks. Her imagination takes over, painting scenarios and possibilities that elevate your presence far beyond the reality of the moment. This is why absence can intensify interest. She isn't just remembering what happened, she's constructing a version of you that exists between reality and desire. And in that space, you become unforgettable. Your value rises in her mind without you saying a single word. Here's the brutal truth. Most men sabotage this effect by over-explaining themselves, chasing her attention, or flooding her with texts. The moment you stop doing too much, the moment you let her mind wander toward you naturally, the effect compounds. She starts thinking about you in quiet moments, while showering, while driving, while scrolling through her day. And these thoughts aren't just random, they are psychologically designed to create longing. Because humans crave resolution, her mind keeps circling back, trying to decipher your motives, replaying the emotional resonance of that single action you took. But the most powerful part, you don't need to try to make her think about you. You simply need to understand what made her do it the first time and replicate that sense of genuine, magnetic presence without forcing it. Authenticity trumps manipulation every single time. Women aren't scheming to test you. They are wired to notice subtle power, emotional depth, and mystery. And once you've shown her even a glimpse of that, she's quietly hooked. She can't stop thinking about you because her brain has already started building a narrative where you are central, a narrative that you influence simply by existing, simply by being a man who understands her mind more than she knows herself. This isn't luck. This isn't chance. This is psychology at work. And now, every time she sees something that reminds her of you, even if it's just a song, a smell, a place, or a phrase, she relives that one moment where she glimpsed something real, something magnetic, something she can't define. That's the power you wield without realizing it. And once it's triggered, once that spark is lit, there's no going back. You've entered her subconscious world, and she can't stop replaying your presence. Now, let's dig deeper into why she can't stop thinking about you. It's not because of what you said. It's not even because of what you did. It's because of how you made her feel. And here's the secret most men will never understand. Women remember feelings far longer than they remember facts. That fleeting sense of excitement, curiosity, or emotional tension you created, that's what sticks. That's what keeps replaying in her mind like a silent echo that she can't quiet. And once her mind starts replaying that echo, it becomes addictive. She unconsciously begins searching for the next high, the next emotional spike, and every memory of you becomes a benchmark she can't forget. Think about it. When a woman recalls a moment where you made her feel seen, challenged, or desired in the right way, her brain lights up in ways she doesn't even consciously recognize. Dopamine and oxytocin flood her system, tying her emotional response directly to you. It's why she suddenly remembers things you said weeks ago or laughs at inside jokes that felt trivial at the time. Her mind isn't just remembering. You've literally triggered a chemical imprint, a memory that whispers your name without her realizing it. And here's the kicker. She doesn't even know why she's thinking about you. She just can't stop. But this is where most men go wrong. They confuse attraction with attention. She doesn't need constant validation, long texts, or desperate attempts to keep her interested. She's already interested. Her mind is already obsessed with the puzzle you created. What she needs is for you to remain unpredictable, consistent in your confidence, and subtly unattainable. This is the tension that drives thought loops in her mind. If you flood her world with yourself, you collapse the tension, and suddenly her thoughts shift elsewhere. But if you master the balance, showing interest while preserving your own mystery, she will continue to chase the emotional high she associates with you. Here's another secret most men never realize. She's mentally replaying scenarios where you appeared in your best form. Not the form that tries too hard, not the form that bends to her will, but the version of you that exudes quiet confidence, awareness, and subtle dominance. Every joke, every playful tease, every thoughtful observation you made becomes magnified in her mind. It's like she's building a mental shrine to a man who exists only in these snapshots of magnetic behavior. Snapshots you created without even knowing it. And the more she tries to rationalize it, the more trapped she becomes in her own thoughts about you. Now, this isn't manipulation, it's understanding human wiring. Women are drawn to emotional resonance, unpredictability, and men who carry themselves with self-assured energy. When you tapped into that once, even briefly, you activated her subconscious longing. She starts imagining possibilities, replaying your words in her head, asking herself what it would feel like if you were closer, more present, more involved. She may not say it aloud, she may act casual, she may even try to ignore it, but inside, her brain is quietly replaying every meaningful detail you've left behind. The most dangerous part, for her, is that she can't stop it. She isn't scheming against you. She's trapped in the neurological loop you created, and every time she catches herself thinking about you, it reinforces your presence in her mind. That one act, that one confident move, that one authentic display of value, it wasn't just noticed, it was stored, catalogued, and internalized. She is no longer fully conscious of why you dominate her thoughts, but she does know one thing. She wants more. And the only way to truly control the rhythm of her obsession is to understand how you got her there in the first place. Here's where most men completely miss the point. It isn't about grand gestures. It isn't about lavish dates, constant messages, or trying to impress her with who you think you should be. The real trigger is subtle, almost invisible, and it's entirely psychological. She can't stop thinking about you because somewhere, in the depth of her mind, you became a mirror of what she secretly craves. Not just physically or superficially, but emotionally. You represented a sense of certainty, confidence, and calm in a world that is constantly chaotic. You showed her a man who knows himself, who operates on his own terms, and who can hold his ground without losing charm, warmth, or vulnerability. That balance? It's rare, and once she caught even a glimpse, her brain began a loop it cannot escape. Think about it. Every time she recalls you, she isn't just replaying an interaction, she's replaying how she felt in that interaction. Did you make her laugh in a way that felt effortless, yet genuine? Did you show subtle dominance without arrogance? Did you say something so meaningful, so precise, that it pierced through her usual walls and left her thinking, I've never met anyone like this before? That emotional imprint is powerful. It's why a single phrase, a small touch, a glance can haunt her thoughts for days, even weeks. Because once a woman's subconscious ties you to a profound emotional experience, she doesn't easily let it go. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most men sabotage this effect without realizing it. They over-explain, over-text, over-apologize, or over-commit. Every time you overextend yourself, you dilute the memory, the emotional spike, the magnetic tension you created. Women are wired to chase contrast. They need the push and pull, the subtle tension that makes the mind linger. Too much presence, too much availability, and you become ordinary. Too much effort, and the spark dies. But the moment you step back, the moment you preserve your own energy and allow her mind to wander, that obsession quietly grows stronger. And this is where the psychological genius of your first move comes into play. You don't need to repeat it exactly, because its power lies in the memory you've already created. What you do need is to understand the principle behind it: unpredictability, authenticity, and emotional resonance. The woman you've captured isn't thinking about you because you chased her. She's thinking about you because, in a brief window of time, you became a high-value presence she couldn't ignore. Her brain is replaying scenarios where she felt the tension, the attraction, the connection, and she is now unknowingly addicted to the feeling itself. Every subtle message you send, every confident boundary you maintain, every small act of charisma reinforces the neurological loop you triggered. She isn't conscious of it, but she feels it, deep, unshakable. The same feeling that made her think about you in the first place is now compounded, amplified by anticipation, imagination, and emotional longing. And here's the paradox: the less you try to control her, the more she fixates on you. Because the human mind craves resolution, yet you've positioned yourself as a man who doesn't give everything away, a man she can't fully decode. That imbalance, it's intoxicating. This is why one moment of authentic presence is more powerful than weeks of effortful attention. One subtle act can dominate her thoughts for days, replayed endlessly, reshaping her perception of desire, attraction, and connection. You did this once, unknowingly, but perfectly. And now, the only thing keeping her mind from completely unraveling around you is the natural tension of anticipation, the knowledge that she wants more but can't have it fully. And in that tension, her obsession deepens. Now, here's the part that most men will never understand. Once you've triggered her obsession, it's not about chasing it, it's about managing it. She's thinking about you constantly, replaying your words, your touch, the subtle ways you made her feel alive, desired, and challenged. But obsession without direction is fragile. If you mishandle it, it fades. If you understand it, you can make it grow deeper, more magnetic, almost impossible to resist. And the key to this is mastering emotional contrast, the art of making her feel a spectrum of emotions around you without losing your composure. Imagine this. One moment she's laughing at your subtle humor, feeling light and free, and the next moment she senses that quiet confidence, that aura of self-possession that tells her you're a man with his own world, his own priorities. This fluctuation ignites a psychological loop. Her mind starts searching for the emotional high she experienced in your presence. It starts connecting your actions with feelings she craves but can't easily find elsewhere. That one look, that one moment of subtle intrigue, suddenly becomes a benchmark for every other interaction she has. And she begins comparing other men, conversations, even experiences to that brief spark you gave her, and none of them measure up. Here's the deeper truth. Women are subconsciously tracking who gives them emotional resonance and who merely fills space. You've already proven you're the former. The memory of that moment, the one small thing you did, now acts as a psychological anchor. It pulls her attention toward you repeatedly, creating longing that is impossible to ignore. She's not scheming, she's replaying, imagining, craving, wondering when, if, and how she might experience it again. Every time she senses you might be distant, unavailable, or unattainable, her mind loops back to you, trying to reconcile the desire and the absence. That tension is powerful. It's the magnet that makes you unforgettable. But here's the nuance most men miss. You do not want to be predictable. Predictability kills obsession. If she knows exactly how you will respond, if every message, every action is uniform, her brain stops working overtime to process you. You must remain consistent in your confidence, but unpredictable in your delivery. A slight delay in response, a teasing message that challenges her, an unexpected display of value that reinforces your independence. All of this strengthens the mental loop you've created. Every subtle shift intensifies the longing. You are no longer just a man she remembers. You are the experience she wants again, the emotional spike she subconsciously craves. Now consider this. Obsession grows when you balance presence and absence. You've already shown her what it's like to feel connected to the best version of you. Now, by preserving your own energy and maintaining subtle unpredictability, you allow her mind to fill in the blanks. She imagines scenarios that may never even happen. She relives moments she cherished, and she builds anticipation for future encounters. And because she associates these moments with deep emotional resonance, feelings she can't create with anyone else, she becomes mentally invested in you in a way that is almost impossible to break. The psychological power you now hold is remarkable, and it stems from one undeniable truth. You did this once, unknowingly, naturally, effortlessly. You triggered her longing. You planted a seed in her subconscious that is now growing every time she recalls that moment, compares it to others, and wonders when she'll feel it again. And the more you understand how to manage this energy, how to balance your presence with strategic absence, the stronger her silent obsession becomes. You are no longer just present in her life. You are shaping her thoughts, her imagination, and her desire without saying a word. Now you're at the point where her mind is already wrapped around you. She thinks about you constantly, recalls your words, your subtle gestures, the way you made her feel alive. But here's the ultimate truth that most men never grasp. Obsession isn't about control, it's about influence. It's about understanding human psychology so precisely that she naturally gravitates toward you, not because you push her there, but because she's already wired to come back. You've activated her subconscious desire, and now the only thing left is to subtly reinforce it without breaking the delicate tension you've created. Think of this as a dance of presence and absence. Every interaction you have, every word you speak, every glance you offer should act like a magnet, pulling her deeper into her own mind, where you already exist. You don't need to manipulate. You don't need to chase. You simply need to maintain the energy and the persona that she found irresistible in the first place. A confident man, aware of his own value, slightly unpredictable, emotionally magnetic. This is the version she's now addicted to. And every time she thinks of you, she relives that version. Every time she imagines future interactions, she envisions that same energy, that same spark, and that, more than anything else, makes her obsession inevitable. Here's the subtle genius most men miss. You don't need to create new sparks every day. The memory you triggered, perhaps just once, is more powerful than weeks of effortful interaction. Women remember the moments of emotional intensity far longer than routine conversation. That single moment where you were authentic, confident, and magnetic is lodged in her subconscious. And because humans are wired for emotional loops, her brain keeps replaying it, filling in gaps, imagining scenarios, wondering what it would feel like if it happened again. This is why absence intensifies her thoughts. The less predictable you are, the more her mind works to understand, to anticipate, to crave you. And here's where it gets almost intoxicating for both of you. Her obsession deepens, not because of physical attraction alone, but because you created emotional resonance she can't easily find anywhere else. She isn't just thinking about you, she's thinking about the experience of you, the way you made her feel, the tension, the intrigue, the excitement. That is your leverage. That is your advantage. You've become an emotional imprint she subconsciously measures every interaction against, and no one else can compete. But the true art lies in maintaining it. Presence without desperation, engagement without predictability. confidence without arrogance, a subtle smile, a calculated pause, a text that hints at intrigue rather than explanation. These are the tools that keep her mind spinning, and every time she thinks of you, her desire strengthens. Every replay in her mind deepens the emotional loop you've planted. Every imagined scenario draws her closer to a subconscious truth she can't articulate. She wants more of you. She craves your presence. She is quietly obsessed. And now, here's your moment to cement it. I want you to think carefully about this. If one single action, done once with authenticity, can make a woman think about you endlessly, what would happen if you consciously applied this principle every day, without trying, without forcing, simply by being the man who naturally evokes desire and intrigue? I want you to write your answer in the comments below. Like this video if you feel the truth of this, subscribe for more insights that nobody else will tell you, and share it with a friend who needs to understand this powerful psychology.